I suppose I wanted to come on because I do the aftermath. I speak on that, and I also speak on Harry and Meghan. I spoke on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and it's not because the media tells me to, or I listen to any of that, because I understand by now, even with Harry and Meghan and what they do, there's a kind of manipulation for the powers that be, the people above, the elite, in how they like to twist and flip a story to manipulate or drive a wedge. I understand that, I'm 40 years old, I'm well aware of the coverage of the media and how they try and mess with our minds to gravitate us in a certain direction. And there's no bigger example in how Catherine, Her Royal Highness Catherine, the Princess of Wales, she had grown within this title that was bestowed, and how she flourished, how she spent time to learn, how she stepped out to pick the charities, and people looked on at her in fond, in how we watched Harry and Meghan try and create a narrative with their words, what they spoke and wrote in print, and placed the spotlight on her. And that was okay, because people didn't quite believe, because we were quite safe with the knowledge of what we had seen in Catherine as a person and the way she naturally handled people around her. We were quite good with that. But the media soon changed tact as soon as William and Catherine had to step away because of cancer diagnosis that they did not know, as in the media, in how the direction turned in this ferocious sort of jumping on the bandwagon, until that led up to that day where Catherine, in an inhumane way, had to sit on a bench to look down the lens to tell all to keep the judgment at bay. So I don't believe the media in anything I bring and speak. It's my inbuilt reactions that I picked up growing up in domestic abuse, and how I acknowledge the way she will manhandle and treat, and how we've watched this once happy prince who lived this Truman-like show amongst his family, happy, natural smiles on his faces, that blueprint that we come to know Harry to be, with dropping the mic next to the Queen, so happy, a natural happy, in how we've watched him slowly go on this demise where Meghan seems to be his every last breath, his every last word, as he's out to defend and avenge for his mom, as his wife's dripping in clothes so similar to hers, in how these red flags are flying in the wind for anyone who's lived abuse, and how they recognise someone so confused, and how the one thing will happen with Harry: he will never be enough, no matter how many interviews he does trashing his family. It will never be enough. It will always be short-lived, because there will always be another direction, another wrong, another word spoken. He would never please this woman, his wife, who's become his every breath. He will never feel that proud in who he is, because remember, like she said, you are now a man and no longer a spare, and for that I love you. Emasculation along the way, and these are the words that I picked up from the books that you spoke to us, because you're unaware as you speak on this that the people that lived abuse, they understand and they see it, they actually feel it, they know the storm that you're in your head, as she's taken over every last breath, as your family are no longer there to give you balance, to direct, to help you out, to support you, because at this point any word they say is against you, and that's what they do. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of everything they've told you, everything they've placed into you, as they slowly strip away, placing their own buttons to press in order to make them be your every last breath. Then, of course, coupled with that, we've got this entitled prince who has lived a life of opulence, who's never been told no, who's used to getting his own way. How dare you say no? How dare you come at me in this way? Because I'm used to my family and my surroundings, and we are never told no. And people say that Harry is a narcissist and that Harry before was just a built-up way in which the royal family projected, and it could be the way. It could be the way from what I'm seeing as how he continues to this very day. However, the truth will be known one day, because if he's a vessel in what I see and his wife no longer aside him, then this will carry on for 10, 15 years. I'm sure their whole life will be et out on this, Diana's death, as his wife lay on that grave, as she interjected her place before the mom in that place he used to go to remember a memory so strong, because that's Meghan now crying at that grave. And this is how they work. This is how they intercept your mind, as they consume you with confusion. As your life slowly becomes this living delusion, this illusion you try and create to keep everyone at bay, your family and all the ones who once loved you, because they are your every last breath. They are the ones you need to appease and please, because they are your family. As you slowly lose your mind in all the people around you, and the people come out and attack you, which fills into this insecurity about the media, the press and the family and everyone else around you, fill you with dread. And your safe space now becomes this person that's came into your life and done all of this to you, but you don't recognize it, because you've no longer got memories even of being sat by your mum's grave, because now you see your wife sat there crying instead. And it's really hard as someone who sees all this as a subconscious sort of level, who knows it, who lived it, who also grew up in a country where I watched Harry be happy with his family and I watch him come out and attack. So I carry sympathy for him, the abused now becoming the abuser, but then I have greater sympathy for his family, who I watch do nothing but love and support and be along his side with smiles on their face, who now faces the onslaught because of the words he spoke by the person over him, who now has taken over him. And if he's not a narcissist, and that was the true Harry we see before, I dread to think where this will go, because he won't be able to keep up with this charade. He will keep going and going, but there will come a day where he has to look back, and sees all the pain that he has created whilst in this illusion and this living delusion of his life, and how it was and now how it is, and how they're all gone. Because you lose them. You lose the people you once loved, because they become your all, and how it will never be enough, because it wasn't enough. She couldn't have got any higher. She couldn't have been any more accepted. But she wanted more. She wanted more, and she took more, and she continues taking more. And that's why no matter how many interviews you do to appease, it will always be the wrong word said in how you messed this up, and you brought this to your life, her life, and you need to fix it. You need to change the direction. You need to tell them. You need to tell the media to tell them. You need to tell the people to tell them, because my life was okay before I met you. When the reality is, it might just be, as we all see, that his life was okay before he met her. You know? But these are all my opinions, my thoughts shared with you as the confusion, the confliction of a life living abuse. Because, and here's the thing, people think of abuse and think of violence and all of that. No. The manipulation, the coercive control in how we watch a man play second in the queue as he's manhandled on the world stage in full view.